Today I have a very special guest. Her name is Daisy Tong. She is my lash lady, and I find it fascinating because she is a self-made millionaire, starting from Vietnam as an immigrant here to America, and by the age of like 28 or 29, she became her own self-made millionaire. Mm-hmm. Hi, Daisy. Welcome to the show.
Hi, I'm so glad to be here. Thank you, Lawrence.
Yes. Daisy is super intelligent. She has a fascinating story. We always got to sit down during my last lash sessions and like just share chit chats about like different ways to make side hustles, different ways to make money. We kind of we met before quarantine, and it was interesting because, obviously 2020 quarantine hit every small business owner pretty drastically. And you owned a lash salon at the time that I was going to, and you had to deal with an abrupt halt in your income at that time. Yeah. So this is a period of time that could have devastated any small business owner, and maybe did devastate many. And you kind of pivoted at that time, and you decided, you know what, I'm going to use this time away from my business that I spent all my money investing in to actually invest in a different way. Yeah. So that's fascinating. I kind of want to start from the beginning. Okay. So everyone can kind of get an idea of who you are. Mm-hmm. So Daisy, I'm going to tell your story from age 16, I guess. Yeah. So first you were living in Vietnam with your family growing up, and it was you, your mom. You had any siblings you were with at the time?
Yeah, with my brothers. So I grew up with two of my brothers, my mom, and my dad. But my dad's majority of he's out of the picture because he don't live with us. Yeah.
Okay, so you're growing up in Vietnam, and you've told me this story before, that the imprint that it left on you, because the Vietnamese community, the economy, you kind of had this imprint of the fact that you just felt like you didn't really get to grow up in an environment where you felt like it was very fair to women in terms of like making and generating income, or living a lifestyle that you felt was something you wanted to look up to. So kind of tell me what happened, in that stage of your life.
Yeah, so I remember I was born and raised in a labor community. So it's like very small house in a little alley, and we house like literally right next to each other. The town that I'm growing up from, literally every single households that I know are domestic abuse.
Domestic abuse?
Yes.
You witnessed a lot of that in your community?
Lots of that. Almost every single household that I know, domestic abuse.
Really?
Yeah.
Disputes or abuse? Like
abuse.
Physical?
Physical.
Okay.
Abuse. It's really sad, and I just know that women was, in a society, in oil and gas culture, people kind of believe that like women supposed to just grow up 20, 23 years old, get married, find someone to settle down, having kids, and be the background of the family, who take care of the family and allow the husband to lead. So we grow up with that, and it's really frustrating for me. Like I don't, like a lot of time I don't agree with my mom about it, because it's like, why women have to get married and have kids and be the background for the family? Why women can just achieve something bigger in their life, because you only have one life? Like you have to giving up and my mom is like, oh, because everyone does that. And I'm like, it's not true. Like I don't think everyone's supposed to do that. So by the time I'm 14 and 13, I really want to come to US, because that's when I able to understand, like watching a lot of TV and kind of understand like how US would just like care about women's rights and about all the freedoms and everything.
Oh,
and
wow.
This is my biggest dream. Like I only want to come to the US.
So you felt you saw that women weren't able to exceed in like career, money, that kind of thing already, but you saw on TV that American women can?
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I feel really empowered, and I told my mom like I want to go to school in the US.
Okay.
So it's at first my mom was like, haha, whatever, like she was supportive because she think that is give me a driven that I can try to do better in school. Okay. But she doesn't really think that how serious I was back then, because like who in the US,
You're 14 and she's like, yeah, right.
Yeah, right. So it's funny, and but I told my mom, was like, I don't like the culture. Why? My mom was like, oh, women have to be like this, women have to be like that. Why? And then I grow up and I see like a lot of the people in my neighborhood would just like giving up their career, getting married by 15, having kids. Men in Vietnam, as I know, because I know there are better men in Vietnam, but I know what I witnessed was they come home from work, and then all of them just sit together and having drinks.
Okay.
Right. And then women just supposed to make this and support that, and they have to deal with all this everything. And then
So do you feel like you felt experience that with your dad and your mom in your house?
I see that too.
Okay.
Good thing I don't experience domestic abuse between my dad and my mom, because they don't physically fight, but they have a lot of argument, and a lot of time is loud cursings, yelling at each other. And I remember back then I'm just quiet and trying to be okay with it. You know, and try to be accepted, like, oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so how did you get your mom to bring you to America? And
so it's funny, like I trying so hard to get a scholarship.
Okay.
So I asked my mom that I want to learn English, and I want my mom to send me to English school. So I try, and then it was really expensive to go to the language school that I went to learn English. But I know that in that school, I have a chance to get a scholarship to come here to United States. Just 1 year scholarship, and then you decide to stay or not.
Yeah.
And it's before my mom, like before that, people know that come to America is very, very, very expensive. Like only wealthy people could do it. But somehow I got a scholarship, and I able to, and then you have to prove to the embassy that you have a lot of money. Your family have a lot of money.
You have to prove to them you have money before you get brought over as
to get a visa. To come. Because the embassy don't want to come to the United States and then work at the job and then try to legally.
So how did you have the money? Did you?
I do not.
Oh.
But I'm a hustler. So basically,
of course you are.
Basically, I got a lot of connection that some of the paperwork telling the truth, some of them not telling the truth.
It was enhanced. It was enhanced. Okay.
Yeah, and like, hey, I like
that.
Yeah, so it's just kind of like a little
the
bit
hustler in you already before 16. I love that.
Yeah, so I faked the paperwork, and I went to interview almost 4 or 5 times. So 3, 4 or 5 times I failed. Like,
oh wow,
quickly,
and then it was that hard.
And I keep going, and then somehow.
And then finally you got it.
Yes.
And then you came to America, and you were at a boarding school, right?
Yes, I went to the boarding school. Because I tried interview so many times. The school started in August, but I get declined for my visa until September. So I already late for school.
Oh.
So when I got the visa in 2 days, I had to decide I gotta go.
Oh, yeah. And you had to come here by yourself, right?
Yes.
No family.
I had to come here by myself.
So you were driven to elevate yourself out of what you felt like was a very low lifestyle, right? Because you're walking around, you see verbal and physical abuse all around you growing up, right? Yeah. You told me you saw like the fathers weren't even taking care of the family that much.
Yes.
And in your home particularly, your father was caught up in gambling and things like that, right?
Yeah.
A little bit of alcohol, too much.
Alcoholic, gamblers,
all of that. So you kind of just wanted to escape the whole thing.
Yeah.
And you had this vision for becoming driven towards business.
Yes. Like, I just want a reason to achieve success for my own life, because I know, like, I won't be able to help my family out of that cycle if I'm just get married and have kids. Because I had to do something for myself so I can able to help the family or the people that I care about.
So you were determined it was a goal for yourself, but also for your family.
Yes.
You wanted to break a generational curse.
Yes.
Of like, did you consider it poverty? Did you consider it just a low lifestyle?
I just consider poverty and probably like lower lifestyle was mindset when it comes to money mindset or happiness in general.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like they don't value happiness. Like I think they care more about what society think they should do more than their personal happiness or their own values. You know?
Right. You saw that at such a young age.
Yeah.
What do you think drove you? Like, what was such a driving factor? Is it because to you the American dream was seen as that achievable, or?
Yeah, so to a lot of us in back then, American dream was meant to be success.
Okay.
And meant to be freedom. So freedom and success is something driving me so hard to come here.
Yeah, and then once you got here, you were here at 16, right?
Yes.
You're just learning English.
Yes.
And so you had that's huge. You do understand you broke out of your country. Coming to a new country is scary as itself, especially when you're coming by yourself. You don't have any money to your name. You don't speak the language, and you were like, no, that's it. I'm going to learn the language, and in 2 years you learn English, right? Mm-hmm. And then where do you go from there?
So I went to high school for 2 years. Most of the time I learned English and just general education, graduated, and I went to Boston for college because I able to accept into a community college in Boston.
Okay.
And back then, like I think it's 2009, 2008 when the economic was really hurt and everyone was like, oh, nursing. Like it's guaranteed job.
That.
Everyone was like, let's go into nursing, medical
I was already in
fields.
nursing, yep.
And I don't think I'm smart enough for become a doctor. That's why I tried to become a nurse. And I
really... you are though.
Back then I wasn't because of my language barrier.
Right.
So I don't think I could achieve that, but maybe I could be a nurse because I know that I'm a hard worker and I'm willing to work hard to get what I want.
Okay.
So I got accepted for a community college in Boston and driven to want to become a nurse back then. Long story short, when I get there, the tuition became very high, and my
tuition became high.
Very high. Like I think you had to pay triple
the normal U.S. tuition.
Yeah,
and that was because there was fees associated with your U.S. or visa.
To remain your visa, you had to pay a certain price to remain your visa, so you can continue be in school. Because basically, boarding students come to the United States more like a business. You know? So that's insane. So that bring a lot of money for the United States.
So the United States punishes you for coming here trying to stimulate our economy.
You had to pay the price for American dream, and that's not cheap.
That's not fair. So here you are, you're set to maybe become a nurse, but the tuition's 3 times as much. Then what do you decide to do?
So I decided to get a job in a nail salon because everyone, Vietnamese people that I know are doing nails, and I know they're making really good money, and I know that I wouldn't make that much of money to work as a waitress, So I know that I had to get a license. So I went and get a license for a nail technician, get a job, and hopefully then I had to pay for my rent and personal expense, includes the tuition to kind of help my mom out because I know back then my mom couldn't afford it.
Okay.
Right.
But you're younger, a lot younger than your mom.
I am a lot younger.
How old are you at this time?
Last time I was 18.
18, and you're helping your mom pay for a nail salon?
Yeah.
Wow.
No, I'm getting a job in nail salon and helping my mom pay for the tuition.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
For the school.
Okay.
My mom haven't here yet. She's still in Vietnam.
Okay.
Back then.
So you're working multiple jobs to pay for rent, so you can collect and save money.
Yeah.
Did you already have it in your mind that you wanted to save money towards some type of business?
I have not planning to save money, but until when I work into the nail salon, I got really inspiring by the nail salon business owner.
Really?
I said, I'm like, being a business owner is so cool. Like you have so much freedom. Like, of course, like because back then, society was like, oh, you had to get to college, right? And especially when you went to school somewhere in Boston, when everyone was just driven for education.
Where did you go? Oh, you went to community college.
Community college. Okay. So it was like everyone's in the community college was like driven for education. Like
right.
You around with
you
like
have to get
Harvard,
your degree.
MIT, like you around with all the biggest students in this world. So sometimes you feel like not getting an education is make you feel like an unsuccessful person, especially some house in Boston.
Yeah.
But I was like, wait a minute. But if you become a business owner, you have way more freedom and you own your business and you control your own schedule. It's way more cool. Screw education.
Screw education.
So that's why I decided. I told my mom, like, I want to become a salon owner, right?
Okay.
But then back in Vietnam, send me to United States for school, right? She was like, but if you're not graduated from college, like this means you're not success. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like but then she
thought it was not going to be successful.
Yeah, she was really, really sad when I told her, like, I don't think I'm going to be in college. I don't think I want to carry on college. It's getting really expensive. And then you don't guarantee anything. And all the money that I made, if I could save that and up in something, like I could achieve that too. But then if I make all this money for the nail salon and then pay for the school and then get an education that I might not getting a job in the future, then what's the point?
Right.
So it took me a very long time to convince my mom, but it haven't really worked out. But until that point that I started sponsor for my mom and my brother to come here, and they about to get the visa, and Boston getting way too expensive, and I know like it's not going to work out. I can't supporting myself, go to school, and then maybe supporting my mom and my brother because I know I had to support them if they here.
How do you get them sponsored? Is that something you have to pay for?
You have to apply.
But do you pay for it too or no?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're helping pay for your brother and mother to come to America.
Yeah.
While also supporting yourself and going to college.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're very driven. You're a very driven human, and you care a lot about your family, and you care a lot about like elevating yourself. You've had that drive since you were super young, like super passionate about that, and it's really crazy to see that like drive and that passion. So you mentioned to me that you ended up, okay, you're like around 23, you're working 3 jobs for all this stuff that you're paying for.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I got this idea. I'm going to buy a nail salon with my mom.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
how did
I moved to Vegas because I know it's it's Vegas. Come
Yeah,
on. Like,
it's Vegas, beauty
it's
industry.
Beauty industry. And
I mean, everybody needs lashes, nails at 24 hours a day.
yeah, like nails, Boston. So I'm like, I don't think we're not. So I know my aunts live in Vegas and I move in with her. So I live with her and then she was like, okay, I still have to check your rent because she doesn't know how responsible I am. She think I'm just like, okay, like like she must come to you. Like she's like, I had to charge you rent. I'm like, yeah, sure, you can charge me rent. I'm like, I had to charge you $100 a month because she tried to make me responsible because she doesn't know who I am yet. And I was like, sure. So I come and work with her in a nail salon.
Okay.
And then I was like, and when I'm in that salon, like I'm stop worrying about school because I drop out from college and that's all. Nail salon is my full-time job.
Yeah.
And then I see the business owner coming and like, so cool, I'm so empowered. But then I see a lot of problems how the business owner operating the business.
You
and
saw the problems?
Problems.
Like money problems?
Not money problems, but the business operation problems.
Okay.
Like they don't have the online booking systems. Because right now it's like technology was in too. So I know about like booking system. I know about apps and everything, right? But then I see like they still have like making appointment on just a books. And just making an appointment.
So you started to see, what are you, like 23? 22.
Yeah.
This is when you're working for a salon. You haven't bought your own salon yet.
Yeah.
Okay. So you see that there's financial freedom. You get to be on your boss and there's profits.
Yeah.
Did you know at that time how much these people are profiting?
I think I have an idea because I did some math.
You ran the math?
Yeah, because I see how much I bring it into the business, and I tam up how many people in the salon, and I was like, oh, it's a good profit. Like,
yeah. What were you guessing the profit was a month? You think?
I think they can probably make about $20,000-$30,000 a month in gross, and then deducts everything. Probably they still keep it like $7,000-$10,000 a month, and that's a lot of money.
Which to you knew that was more than nursing.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And it just give me more freedom. And I have an idea was like, if I have my own salon and I have my mom, my brother, they can work with me.
Right.
So I don't have to run 3 jobs and then not seeing them and then be with them all the time. So before I just
grow the whole family and grow their money too.
Exactly.
Wow.
So able to provide them a job, a place to work, and able to be with them while I'm there.
Elevate together.
Yeah, quality time. So I enjoy that. And I was like, Mom, we should open a nail salon. And she was like, you're like 23 years old. Are you serious? I was like, and then I convinced her. I was like,
did you guys have the money for it, or how'd you get the money to do that?
Saved money, and she had no idea. She had no idea I saved that much money. Like my mom just come to United States for like 2 weeks, and I told her we should open a nail salon. And I'm like, what?
2 weeks. I'm ready to start a business, Mom. Get ready. Yeah. Hit the ground running. We're after the American dream. Let's go.
Yeah. And then my mom like, what? Like she had no idea. And but then I told her what I do because she me working on a time. Like
did you buy the salon from under where you were working, or did you buy a different one?
I bought a different one.
Okay.
And my boss was so mad because I worked with her. And then I went one of the best nail tech there too. And then she was not happy, of course, like, she's not happy. But I become very busy when I'm working for her to that point that I told her I only take appointment only because I'm not sitting there waiting for walk-in because of how salon operated. Yeah. Walk-in, I'm like,
no, I got no time to waste. I'm 22 years old with an American gold dream. I got to break generational curses. I got no time to waste.
Yeah, so I was like, I take appointment only. And she agreed with that because I'm one of the best nail techs. I'm like, okay, cool, you can take appointment only. And then in the meantime, I'm cocktailing in Golden Nugget. I remember I'm cocktailing in Golden Nugget. And then in the meantime, if I don't have nobody, I'm seeing Lash client in my own house.
So 3 jobs.
3 jobs, yeah.
Okay, so... is this when you decided to buy the salon with your mom?
Yeah. So that's when I told my mom that I saved up to about $60,000. And
you saved $60,000?
I did, yes.
Because what, you're amazing with not spending money, or how?
Because I'm really smart with money. Like I really know how to cutting up my expense. Okay. I'm not very materialistic.
How long do you think it took you to save up $60,000?
Since I'm working, it took me years.
A couple years?
Because college is also is expensive. Rent also is expensive.
Maybe 3 years?
3 years.
3 years,
yeah,
okay. And then you had $60,000 to invest.
Yes.
And you bought a salon.
I bought a salon for $60,000. Like, I remember after I bought a salon, I had like $200 left in my bank account.
200 left?
Yeah.
And you were all in.
We all in. Even like my brother, like I say up to 300, and he invested it 300 for $60,000.
How
like,
cute! I love that.
Yeah, he was like, "Let's go.
Let's go together.
Yeah.
This is a family.
Yeah.
This is family business."
So I remember first day when we closed the deal, we got the salon. That whole night we stayed in the salon, clean up, sleep in the salon.
Oh my gosh.
Clean up everything, and then
This really is
up
the
on
American
next day.
story.
Oh, seriously. Oh my, I don't know how much dry I had before, but I was like, oh my God. When I look back, I'm like, okay, like I did. Drive
And once
a
you
lot.
bought it, did you guys start turning profits? Did you?
So we bought it. We make profit the same day. We couldn't close the salon any day. Like we make money the same day. So I think remember the first day we run the salon, I make up to $800, and that's a lot of money for me in one day. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. So I work really hard. I work 7 days a week. Every day.
Wow.
Go to the salon.
For a couple years?
For almost 1.5 years.
Okay.
1.5 years. But then after 6 months, I able to turn my nails clients to my lash clients.
Oh,
and
I see what you did there.
Yeah. And the salon have a
You're just capitalizing on all of our parts. You got our nails, you got our lashes.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm gonna make money off of all these.
Yeah,
parts.
and then it's crazy that I'm a really good nails artist because I'm able to do a lot of design. So a lot of my technician does a basic work, and I just come over and do a design and make up a chunk of money to the end. So I remember my nail salon have a little room. I think it's just
like a little studio, right?
Studio, like half of this one.
Yeah, just a small little room, with like a massage bed. You do your lashes on it. Yeah.
So I started to turn my nails client to my lash client. Until that point, I become super busy. Like I remember I promote myself on Groupon too.
Groupon?
Like sell myself the heck out to try to get people
advertisement, get lots of lash clients, nail clients.
Yeah.
And you're automatically getting clients walk through the door to do their nails, so now they're automatically your lash clients.
Yes.
You're capitalizing on them there.
Yes.
Okay. And then you realize what? Lashes is more profitable?
Lashes is more profitable, and it's a trend. Like back then, lashes wasn't that popular, but I'm like, sometimes you don't need to be the best, you need to be the first.
Oh.
So I was like, maybe I should open my own lash salon.
Yeah.
Because because I feel like you should be in the market as soon as possible, and the opportunity come. So I told my mom that maybe we should sell the salon so I can focus on lashing because I make more money now on lashing. So we decided to sell this, and I'm still working on that studio, but then my eye was still always looking for a different salon to buy, because I like to buy broken business. Like I buy the right rundown business. I do.
But how much? Okay, so you bought the salon for $60,000, then you sold it for how much?
$80,000.
Okay, so you made money on that.
I did.
Like both monthly and at the end.
Yes.
Okay, and now you're looking for a lash salon to open, and you're looking for a broken business. Why broken?
Well, first you can get them for cheaper.
Okay, yes, fair.
And I also, because I feel like when it's come to businesses, it's had to come with different strategy. It's had to come with marketing strategy.
Yeah.
And is a lot of business owner up in the business because they might have money, but they don't have a business strategy for a certain business. Especially, I realized this lash business is a high skills business.
Okay.
And then I know one person that who owned multiple nail salon, and then he using that same brand to open a lash salon, but just lash salon.
Okay.
So I know him for a long time, but I know his business haven't done really well, but he have a beautiful salon.
Oh.
So I call, and he tried to sell for me for like $50,000, and I was like, no, I'm not interested. But $50,000 is so much money. Then later I feel like I wait for a few more months, and I feel like, based on my math, and I see how much people walk in and out of that business, because I stopped.
You figured out math just by people walking in and out?
Yeah.
You're a math genius.
Because like I know how much it costs to rent.
Yeah.
Like,
once you knew the leasing amount?
Yeah, leasing amounts. And because I went to the nail salon right next to it, and I was like, how much, in the same plaza.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, it's $4,000 a month for rent.
Oh,
and I'm
so
like,
you just did like market research. You went to each lash salon, asked them how much their rent is. You found out how many people are walking through the door.
Yeah.
And all that.
And I was like, oh, I know this owner been losing money. And I make an offer a few months after, and he's like, it seemed like he just want to get out now because he'd been losing.
Right. Did he drop it from $50K to something lower?
To $30,000.
Ooh, and then you bought it?
I bought it.
You swiped it at the bottom. Wow. Yeah, and you were how old at this point?
I was 25.
25. This is your second business you're buying?
Yes.
And the first one you turned profit, and now this one, you said it was operational lash salon, but it was like they weren't making much profit.
Yes.
So you're like, you know what? I'm just going to re-strategize. I'm going to remarket. I'm going to do all the things the right way.
Yes.
It's a beautiful salon and get people in there. How did you
Yeah.
How did you get like artists in there? Like, how did you kind of pivot it and turn a dead business into a thriving business?
During I'm doing lashing, I took more courses and I did a lot of research online. Like I like to self-taught and then how to implement the skills, what is the glue. Like it's not, I know it's not.
You like to be self-taught.
I love to be self-taught. Like I like to teach myself a lot of things.
I see that.
So I learned a lot and I was like, there's a lot of like, it's a very high skills, but then there where you can achieve those skills. So I decided to like, if I can hire someone off from beauty school,
okay,
because I went to beauty school before. It's very general, like they teach you about hair, they teach you about nails and everything,
but
they don't really teach you like a careers or anything,
right?
So I feel like if I can hire like younger from beauty school, take them out, train them, give them a place to work, and then give them the opportunity, because I know that if they go to lash school, they have to pay what $2,000-$3,000, and then they pay so much money for beauty school already. Yeah. And they're not going to have another $2,000-$3,000 for lash school.
So you were saving them time and money by saying, why don't I just train you girls under me? You learn for free, right? Mm-hmm. And then next thing you know, you can stock your lash salon with a bunch of artists.
Yes. Wow. So that's what I did. And I think that someone was picked when I have up to 12 lash artists, because that's all the chair I have in there.
12 in what time frame do you think?
It took me a years and a half to grow that.
And how profitable was this lash salon?
Ooh, I remember for a whole year, I grossed about $600,000.
You grossed $600,000?
Yes.
In a year?
In a year.
From lashes?
Yes.
And you were going to be a nurse? Nurses, like maybe a travel nurse can make a couple $100,000 a year, but like not even close to $600,000.
Yeah, and I care more about the freedom and the flexibility.
That's true. That's another level of success.
Yeah.
You know what? I really agree with you on that, because as I've kind of pivoted my life and done different things and had my own businesses, what you say, freedom, financial freedom, the ability to, use your time as your own. If I want to go meet up with a friend today, if I want to take care of my daughter, take her on a trip, I have the financial freedom to do so. Yeah. So it's not just how much money I have, it's the type of work that I have, where, you've read the 4-Hour Work Week, right? You've read all these self-help educational books, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I'm sure you've read them all.
Yes.
You probably brought most of them to my attention when we were sitting there in the Lash studio. But, it's this idea of like, we live in this society, and you know this firsthand, which is amazing, that we live in this society where you have the internet, you have YouTube, you have TikTok, you have all these online tutorials where you basically learn a skill set. You learn, like, I don't know, you can learn crypto, you can learn stocks, you can learn lashes.
We live in the world of free education.
Free education.
Seriously.
We live in this world. It's insane to me. This is why I connect so well with you, and this is why when I'm sitting there getting my lashes done, I feel like I'm with like a genius therapist, because she's explaining to me, how blessed. Obviously, it's a blessing we live in America, because you have a lot of freedom in that regard.
Oh yeah.
But then also you have the whole world that we live, the World Wide Web, where we have access to online tutorials for any skill you could possibly imagine is right at your fingertips, and you can teach yourself. You could try out a hustle, you could do a side hustle, you can learn from like active owners. Like usually back in the day, you had to mentor under people, you had to pay people to learn their skill, or you had to figure out how to network with someone. When now, this day and age, we have access to pretty much anyone ever. If you can DM them, you can email someone, if you could follow an online tutorial through YouTube, you have all this free education. And you knew that right away, and you're like, that's it, I'm going to self-teach. I don't need to spend that hundreds of $1,000s getting education. I can teach myself how to learn a business.
Yeah, because it does cost you time, and it's the drive that you might had. But I feel like I'm somebody strongly believe that you are one individual that you can achieve everything unless you put enough might into it. Like you put enough heart into it, you can achieve literally everything. Yeah. So with that mindset, I feel like when I get into something, I put all my heart into it. Yes. I put a lot of hard work. I learn a lot, and I strongly believe that I could achieve that if I really wanted.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's insane. So your drive is fascinating, Daisy. You're a very awesome person, and I really look up to you, because the drive is what separates people, from success or not success, because we can all have access to things, and we can all fail. Like even if you fail with your first business, you pivot, or you need a loan versus saving up. There's different ways to strategize for different people. Because I'm not personally awesome at saving. I'm not awesome at budgets. I'm working on it. You've helped me discover that needs to take place. I am getting better at investing my, instead of just having money and having, you know, access to money or growing my money, I also want to invest it so it's long-term money and, you know, it can grow over time. But it's interesting that you had this mindset. It's very, very interesting because it just goes to show you like what anyone can accomplish, even if they come to America not knowing the language, with no certain background or education. I love it. I love it so much. Okay, so let's take us to where you are. So you own a lash salon. You now gross $600,000.
Yes.
It's very highly successful at this point. Now 2020 comes, it crashes down on all of us, and you are a business owner where you're used to everyone walking through the door, and now what do you do? What happened?
Yeah, so it's sad that right before COVID happened, I renovation the salon. I spent a good amount of money to renovation the salon because I know I want to rent part of it, you know, so for like estheticians, everything, because it's a big space and it's waste. But a lot of money for renovation, but a lot of money for supplies because I'm planning to have my own product line for lashings.
Yeah.
And 2020 happened.
The shutdown. Everything shut down.
All my money was in the business.
Oh my God.
And
were you freaking out?
I am. I actually am. I was falling into a slight bit depression. But I was home and you know, and I was like, wait a minute. Now I have all the time in the world. Because when you're in the business, that's all I know, right? That's all I know. Lashing, that's all I know. Business, that's all I know.
Yes.
But now I'm stuck at home. I was like, if I put everything into one thing and it's gone, what should I do? But I'm still have me. So I was like, but I know a lot of people making money online.
Okay.
How am I making money online? And now I had 24/7 hours in home. I don't have to worry about anything else.
You saw that time was precious.
Yes.
It was very valuable.
Yes.
Okay.
And I started again to YouTube days and night. And then learn how I'm gonna make, like, that's my question, how I'm gonna make money online, how I'm just don't leave my house and still making money, because I'm locked up now, you know?
And what little pockets of money did you?
So something really crossed my mind that I know some of my friends are really successful with stock market, and they make a lot of money with stock market. They become super wealthy, and I'm like, I can trade in stock market too. I can learn how to do stock market. I love
this. You have such a great inner voice. You have a great inner child. Do you know where that came from? Who inspired you to feel like you can do anything? Was it really just yourself?
I think it's coming from my mom and my aunt.
Okay.
Because I feel like we live in a society that the woman had less voice than the man. But my mom and my aunt, like, their marriage doesn't work out, but it doesn't let them down. Like, they work really hard to support their kids because that's all they had, you know? So my mom does everything in her power to creating multiple sources of income so us can have a good life.
So you saw that drive in your mom.
Yeah.
And you emulated it.
Yeah. And then I think she the one who had given me an idea that the woman can achieve everything she wants.
I love that.
But because the reason why the society would pressure her, like, I feel like if she come to America really early, she could become a very successful lady too.
Right.
But because the society will hold her off,
down.
so that's the most she can do is giving her kids the good life.
Yeah.
And she empowered me so much.
I see that.
To become a business owner.
Yes.
Because I remember my mom was
we
like,
see your mom through you for sure.
Yeah. Like, my mom was like, it doesn't matter what you do. Like, I remember she's talked to me like multiple times. Like, it doesn't matter what you do in life. Just remember that you need to have control of your income. Your own income. So don't rely on a job.
Okay.
You can, unless you become a business owner, or you have to create a source of income yourself. So I remember that.
I love that.
And that just always stay with me. So my mind always like 24/7, like, how I'm gonna making more money. And it's become something that I enjoy.
I can tell.
Like, because
you have passion for it. You generally light up.
I feel like it's related to who you are. So it's
to you, like, you just, anytime you would hit a little wall, like, 2020 happens and that you're shut down, you didn't let it overwhelm you with failure. Yeah. You're like, okay, it's just a matter of getting creative, brainstorming, and pivoting.
Yeah.
You really do have the hustle behind you to pivot. Yeah. I think what I'm learning from a lot of my friends and mentors, business owners, is that if you can pivot, you can continue to succeed at anything. That a roadblock is not the end. The roadblock just means you got to turn the car around, and that's to see you thrive in that way is really cool. So 2020 happens. Now you're figuring out, how do you make money online?
So I figured out how to trade the stock market, and I remember all the money I put into the business. I had like less than $20,000, like exactly $20,000 in my bank account.
Because the rest of it's all invested in something.
Invest into the business, and it's all stuck. So I'm like, oh my God, like $20,000. What am I going to do with $20,000 without a business? Right. So I was learned about trading the stock market, and then I started like learn about how to stock. And then it's funny because last time where everybody eyeballed the stock market, because when the COVID happened, the stock market will hit rock bottom.
Right.
Like everybody sell because they scare. So everybody sells. So the stock market, it hit rock bottom. And it's crazy that I get into the stock market at the reverse.
At the rock bottom.
At the rock bottom. So when you hit the rock bottom, this only thing you can do is go up.
I love
like,
that.
Seriously.
You have such a good mindset.
Yeah. So I was like, maybe I should get into it because it's a good time, because you can buy stock for cheap right now.
Right.
So I learned how to, but then I know that investing is long term.
Right.
Like you can't just put the money in and expect to be millionaire like next week. It's impossible.
Damn it.
Right?
I'm so impatient. I'm like over here like, I invested. Is my coin up yet? Like, oh, it's down. Okay, I'm never gonna look at it again.
It's a long term, but then I met someone on YouTube. His name is Ross Carmen, and he's like a day trader.
You messaged him personally?
I didn't, but I know he have a course.
Oh,
and I planned to take his course, but it's like $7,000.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh my God.
I only have 20,000.
I know.
I'm trying to make money, not spend money.
I know, but he's crazy. He have his free class. So he trade and he live stream it. Okay. So I listened to him every morning. So I didn't took his course because $7,000, but I listened to him every morning when he trade.
His free education.
His free education. So I was like, that's interesting. And then I was like, oh, if you can turn this $20,000, the only way for you can turn this $20,000 to a bigger amount, you have to be day trading. I mean, you have to play short term. You can't play long term. You can bet 20,000 and wait for a few more years.
So then you learn how to day trade.
Day trade, how to swing trade the stock market, how to buy low, sell high.
Oh.
And it's crazy.
You're a numbers girl. You love numbers.
I love
You
numbers.
get excited and thrilled by them.
I love numbers.
I love that you love them because I see the joy coming off you, and I'm like, I don't love numbers. I don't know how to love them. Like, I know when the bank account goes up, I'm happy. But you like thrive on capitalizing. If it's going up, I'm going to make sale off of that. If it's going down, I'm going to short sale it. You know, you thrive.
Yeah, it is crazy. And I was like, there's so many you can do.
So you had 20,000. And you said something about like you made upwards of 10K in a day from day trading.
There's good day I make up to 10Ks a day from day trading. There one night that I'm swing trade. Swing trade means you buy the stock today and you sell tomorrow. It's crazy. I remember I was like, buy the stocks, probably 5,000 share because of the good news coming tomorrow, and I know it's gonna pump the next day. Yeah. Because I read the news. I'm very
in touch with everything. Yeah, I'm current events. She knows the news.
I could get really nerdy with something. Like,
the thing is, guys, I'm not nerdy. I'm not smart enough to know all this. I know that what she knows is very intelligent and very like helpful. I think you need to start your own like course, because you're very good at describing these things, and you get into the nitty gritty of how you do, this type of sale, go bet against the market, bet with the market. And you even know the same in crypto, so you got in day trading, you're making a ton of money that way. Did you also get into crypto? And
I did. So I learned about cryptos, and I got into the huge rabbit hole with crypto. Like I learned about the whole history of how crypto works and everything. It's like, what is cryptocurrency? Because everyone talks about the stock market now, and I'm in a stock market, but now I want to know about crypto. The thing is, I know Byron, my husband, he know about cryptocurrency 2017, but he haven't been really successful with it. And then the government doesn't like crypto, so I'm like, oh my God, crypto is a scam. So it's scary. But when it's scary, it's causing my intention. It was like, but it's cryptocurrency, like it's there to stay. And then I love Elon Musk, like you love Elon Musk. He's the guy, and he was like, oh, like the new future is cryptocurrency. The future is Bitcoin, and that's when Bitcoin was like $5,000.
Yes, so it's now like around like 30 or so.
30, but it's hit to that peak. I think it's like hitting $70,000.
It hit 70 at one point. Okay.
Yeah. So I was like, what a Bitcoin, right? So I'm learning, and I was like, oh my God, it's like a digital asset, and then when I'm in half skill with stock market, I understand what the asset, what the liabilities, and all of that. And I was like, what are digital assets? So I get really deep into cryptocurrency, learning about Bitcoin and see how this works. And I learned that Bitcoin is general because I love Bitcoin. But cryptocurrency is there's a whole bunch of
different types of crypto.
Coin, yeah.
So I'm not a geek on it, but what I do know is that you believed, like Bitcoin's one of the biggest cryptocurrency or what they think is going to be the most successful. And it's the highest you can spend your money in. But what you told me that struck me interesting is that it's, you saw the longevity of it. That it will become it's a currency you can pay for things in, but it will eventually, the valuation of it will go up so high because there's a limited amount of coins that one day it'll be like 6, 7, whatever times your money.
Yeah, because basically there's about 21 million Bitcoin in this planet, and that's it.
Yeah.
And everything was limited, right?
Yeah.
If everyone wants,
it creates a huge demand.
Supplies and demand, and it's creating a huge demand. The price will shoot on the stop, and that's what I strongly believe, that Bitcoin could go up to $100,000 to $400,000.
Yeah.
And is a great investment
because it's limited.
Exactly. But you have some good day, you have some bad day. You have to be really patient with Bitcoins, and that's how I learned that. And when I buy the coin, I'm dollar cost averaged it. So like every day, if I have a little extra money, I buy a little bit more.
Do you check every day for stocks in Bitcoin?
I like to be surprised.
You do like to be surprised. So you give yourself a little time. How much time do you give yourself in between?
So I like to technical analysis.
Yeah.
Luckily that when I'm trading stock market, you have to know technical analysis. So you have to learn how to recharge.
Okay.
The charts will reflect on the psychologies of trader.
Yeah.
Meaning that everyone in the world will basically trade the same stock, and everyone has a certain psychology to trade a stock. So the chart will reflect what both things about Bitcoin, how much you believe in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So I able to make couple good guess that when the Bitcoin really down, like I like to buy when everyone was like, oh my god, Bitcoin is a scam, don't buy it.
You just bought.
I bought it
because you believed in it.
Yeah.
Elon Musk kind of set that in your mind, but you also told me that for cryptocurrency and Bitcoin specifically, that you believed that it's also protected money, that it's like because it's a decentralized money,
it's
blockchain.
The idea of Bitcoin, it can free your money. That's the idea of it. So basically that the government, so back to the history of the government, right? Our money was backed by gold before 1970.
Yes.
But then after that, we don't back by gold, so we're creating money by fiat money. It basically is an I own you note.
Right.
And it was like, so the government
Federal Reserve note.
Exactly.
Yep.
So the government can always print its money.
They can print as much as they want. And they do print a lot of money.
A lot of money.
And so they're devaluating our US dollar, and that's causing inflation.
And what basically inflation was called goods and services going up. That's inflation, because the money can mint it out in thin air.
But what you're saying is with Bitcoin, that can't happen.
It can happen because it's limited. So it's only 21 million Bitcoin, and no one can touch it. The only way that you can change Bitcoin valuation is you have the power to control 50% all the computer in this planet, which is impossible.
Okay.
Like no billionaire can do that.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why it's believed by people through people, and you talk about worldwide.
Yeah. Unless there was some crazy hacking that was being done.
Yeah.
But you said it'd have to be bigger than 50%.
50% of the computer in the world. And how many computer out there? It's almost impossible.
Yeah. And for you were telling me like with the government, I don't know if we should get into this now or later. Should we get into it now?
We could.
Okay. Okay. So you were telling me to you it's very important that if you earn your money, which you clearly want to do for yourself, for your family, you basically want to break generational curses, be able to have financial freedom, which you achieved at a very young age.
Yes.
Like what age were you when you how old were you? Right around 28 when this all happened?
Yeah, it's all happened. I feel like I'm able to achieve that when I'm 28, 29.
So you were about a millionaire by then, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a huge accomplishment. So congratulations on that.
You.
It's you're still doing amazing, and you're still pivoting, and you're still learning and growing, which is amazing. I like that too. But so you basically were telling me the other thing you were concerned about is that with our U.S. dollar, we have this agency that's now going to be looking at our money in the banks. It's even going around the CBDC, looking at our bank accounts, and they have the ability to possibly regulate our money. And on top of the fact that they can regulate our money's in the bank, and if everybody pulls out, like that's a huge scare. Your money's not going to be there anymore.
Yeah, this I feel it's a little scary, and I see it's coming. Was that the U.S. government bring out so much money, and into the bank went like 2008 crisis. It's also like a banking financials crisis, and now I see
I capitalized on that crisis too, by the way.
Yeah.
I didn't even know I was thinking like you, Daisy. But in 2008, remember the stimulus thing with Obama? The only thing I can give myself credit for with investments, because I'm not as good as you at it, is that I capitalized on that credit. Remember he gave like $8,000 to anyone that owned a house at the time?
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't in the US back then, so I don't know. But I like
you would have done it.
Yeah, I would too.
You would have done it.
But I capitalized in 2020 because I got a good like a stimulus money.
Yes.
And that's why I invest that stimulus money. And then I also got a
you got the unemployment too, or no?
Unemployment. I got like, I don't think I got an unemployment. If it's like when I'm a business owner, I had to shut down. The government was giving you the PPP loan.
Yeah.
And you don't have to pay it back later if you use for business. I capitalized that too, and I also I turned that money to more money.
This is so incredible. I'm so proud of you. Okay, we could geek out all day on crypto, how to protect your money, you know, how you can invest, because I've invested in Bitcoin. You got me excited about investing in Bitcoin, and I've made some money, but you know, it goes ups and down. If you believe in the longevity of it, which I do, and you do a lot more, is that you're gonna, if you just don't sell, you keep the money, and then when it drops again, you can buy more.
Yes.
And then you can continue to accumulate money over time and keep it.
Yeah. So it's like asset.
It's an asset. Yeah. And the other thing I wanted to get into, so also in 2020, you said this was a very pivotal year for like your spiritual growth.
Yes.
And you feel, and so get into that a little bit with me, because I think my audience has heard me basically like rev up ayahuasca journeys and how spiritual journeys is very beneficial to your own personal growth, but also like opening up your mindset to like abundance mindset. You just you open so many doors for yourself.
Yes.
You know, so I'd love to hear your journey.
So I fall into a small depression during 20 when my business got shut down, because that's all I know and that's all my heart into it.
Right.
But then luckily I have a friend. She one of my best friends, but she also a pure spiritual person, and she gave me a lot of advice. She kind of like therapy session for me. Just how I did.
We all need that.
Yeah, we all need that. So she introduced me to Ayahuasca, and she's like, "Daisy, you need to kind of work on it," because I know for a fact that I become very stressed. But she know me as a person I am. Like, you are a very positive person.
Yes.
So she was like, "We need to fix that, right?" So and it's crazy that I got engaged to Byron 2020. I said yes, and then a few months later, I gave him back the ring because I don't think I'm ready. But this is not my first time.
You gave it back a few months?
A few months after. I don't think I'm ready. And I don't know why I said it. Yeah. It just, something stopped me, and I don't know. I also remember that my previous ex before Byron, I refused his proposal, and that's why we broke up.
Dang, you're playing hard to get. This self-made millionaire gives you the ring back.
It was like,
that's a big blow.
My friend was like, maybe something going on.
Yeah.
Like Barnes is a great man, and she asked like why.
Right.
And I don't know why. Like,
right.
I don't have a reason. I just know that I'm not ready, and I want to worry. But like, she's like, you already achieve everything. You become an American citizen.
Right.
You got your own house. You took care of your family. You got a successful business. Like before, I have a long list of what I plan to do before I'm getting married, and then I check all this box.
Those are all checked off,
and I'm still giving back the ring. And she's
right.
like, you need to work on it.
Yes.
So she hosting a ceremony for Ayahuasca ceremony.
She hosted ayahuasca here.
She did.
Okay.
At her own house, and then she's like, you should come. Maybe something you need to be in touch with your inner self, like to see what's going on.
Yeah. And you don't back down from a challenge.
I did not.
And you're not scared of anything.
I was until I met you after your ceremony. And it's funny that you went in before I did, and you come back and you tell me about your experience.
Yes.
And it's motivated even more. And I start a week after.
That makes me feel really good. That I can be helpful, because I'm always worried that someone's gonna have a bad experience.
Yeah, because Byron read about the ceremony and like, you're gonna take that drug, you know what I mean? I was like, and he's a doctor. He's like, oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah.
Until you went in, and I was like, my friend Lauren went in. She have a great experience. Like, she learned so much, and I want to learn about myself too. Yeah. I want to learn what's stopping me, and I want to be a better version of myself.
Yes.
So it's convincing me, like, okay, fine. Like, I wish you a lot of luck. So I decided to go, and I want to figure out why I'm keep running away from marriages. I'm keep running away from settle down. Like, it is because I'm career driven. Like, I want to know.
No, yeah.
So during the whole ceremony, I seen younger me. I think 8 years old, 10 years old.
Yeah.
A younger me in a neighborhood that where I growing up. And it's just like a flash of memories.
Okay.
And it's just it's like where exactly I grow up, and it's just where I'm seeing myself every day, and it's just my neighborhood, my little house, my little old house. And I witnessed.
This is back in Vietnam.
Back in Vietnam.
Okay.
And I witnessed a family have an argument, and then the husband end up abuse the wife. Like, is physically abused, which is like fascinating. Like
Yeah.
it's scary.
Yeah.
And I witnessed that.
Yeah.
And then flash forwards, I see my mom and my dad having an argument. A lot of argument, fighting all the time.
Yeah.
And I remember telling myself like, why do I get married? Like, why do I need to settle down so I can stuck my life with an individual that going to abuse me? Like with me, with myself, I can done so much more and I can be so much better because no one can come in and stop me to achieve everything I wanted. So at the 8 years old,
At 8 years old.
As 8 years old, I was like, I don't want to get married. Like, I think I can do better myself. Like, I can achieve more. Like, if my mom not having me, like my mom not having me as a kid, and then she can just work on and with her skills and with her business skills, she can be so wealthy right now.
Right.
Like, same thing with my aunt. But because now they're having kids, they had to
She
take
was
care.
trapped,
She
kinda.
was trapped.
Okay.
So that's why I told myself I don't want to get married.
Yeah.
And
at 8, and you made a promise at
I
8?
make a promise to myself, and I was like, that's why that's why, and then I come out from it. I was like, oh, so that's because I started throwing up a lot, like
in the ceremony.
In the ceremony, like right after I picked that piece of memories that I'm
Yes.
missing, I started throw up.
You started to purge.
A lot, and I
Yeah.
was remember what you said. I'm like, oh, that's something scare you, and then I'm like, okay, so that's the message the universe trying to tell
Yeah,
me.
you're purging out your fear.
Yeah.
See, you did it.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
Yeah, so thank goodness that you
Yeah.
went and you told
and
me.
you were brave enough to do it and make that connection. I'm glad it was a healing ceremony. I think that ayahuasca can always be healing for people, but the fact you had an open heart and mind, you went in with that intention, like this is my intention, and you had got that. That's really special.
Yeah, and then I don't realize that how much it has hurt me for being 8 years old. Like sometimes you feel like, oh, is this shit happen every day? Like I grow up with that and it's happened every day and you normalize it.
Right.
But then you don't know it's damaged so much
Right.
to your emotion
Yes.
when you are that young age.
It was almost like that memory left an impact on you, like a double whammy. It left a drive in you
Yes.
to succeed, which you did
Yeah.
amazingly, but it also left a fear in you of what failure can look like being stuck in an abusive relationship, maybe a loveless marriage. So that was a fear. So the irony is the trauma or the poor circumstances, whatever, drove you. So it made you exceedingly driven to break generational curses, bring your family to America. Now you have a bunch of your family living here. You got them over here. Now they're succeeding in different business ventures that you've helped them succeed on. And you also purge the fear. So now you're no longer trapped in your own little curse, because that could have been a curse for you, is not being able to connect or commit to your husband, which now you...
And then that's why I learned something, that the universe was created you for who you are, and but you into a certain family so you can learn and become a certain individual that's very specialized. So that's why I learned for myself, like it was a lesson that I was supposed to learn in this lifetime in the planet of Earth. And like being my mom daughters growing poor family and then having that driven to break that traditional curse like of perfidies, and also but then you have to work so much on yourself to achieve that, just to turn you to become a very special individual, and as especially for you to learn that. And that's why I'm like, I started being very grateful for all my old memories, good and bad, and then I become super, then that changed so much. Like I become very blessed and very grateful for almost everything I had, and then I no longer allow like bad thing happen in my life to drag me down anymore, because I'm like, it's a lesson and I need to learn that. And
That's
it's crazy.
wonderful.
So you can flip that script,
Of
you know?
course.
Yeah.
And that's amazing that you were able to gain that kind of perspective from ayahuasca.
Yes.
Because you said it took you several weeks almost to process everything and come to those realizations.
I had to be out for like a week.
Yeah.
And I feel like I totally in different planet. Like that was crazy. And
Yeah.
Ryan, he's really soft, he's very gentle. He allowed me to process everything.
Yeah.
And then because he doesn't know everything, because I went through a lot for such a young age. And you know, I didn't know that how much it's causing so much damage into my emotional, to that point that I drive myself so hard that the only thing I focus on is to achieve success, but I forgot to love myself.
Right.
You know, and it teach me how to love myself. It teach me how to be blessed for what I have, for what I've been through.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Did you feel it? Did you feel any sensations in your body? Did you feel anything, a release of any good emotions?
Yes, I did. So I feel like I love myself a lot more. Like I feel more gentle to myself, and I don't feel like sometimes like if you drive so hard and you don't achieve things that you want it to be, you beat yourself up to get it. And you still, and every time when I fail, I beat myself up to get up. And sometimes it's emotional damage. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it
Like,
is.
so, and then
It's like attacking yourself.
exactly, and you call yourself names. You're like, you're not smart enough, you're not good enough, blah blah. It's really sad,
It's damaging,
and
yeah.
it's crazy that we do it to ourselves literally every day
Yeah.
without knowing that, hey, it's a lesson. Now you be more gentle to yourself.
Yeah.
I was like, when you make a mistake, I'm like, it's okay, it's a lesson. What I'm learning from it, it's
It
okay.
takes all the judgment off. It takes the heat off of it. You know, because we
Exactly.
give ourselves, we're such harsh inner critics of ourselves. And I've experienced this a lot. I will say that like some of my traumas or some of the bad things that have happened to me did help me create me to be a driven human and a passionate person. So now I take that away and I said, okay, now I can think of it as a blessing in disguise. It helped me become driven or passionate or consistent. But then to remember, like you said, that if we have a failure or we have something that like makes us feel like we didn't succeed well enough, that to give ourselves that grace and be like, okay, like you said, it's a lesson.
Yeah.
Like, and I've always hated learning lessons, but the irony is I'm one of those people that learns everything the hard way, which means I learn through experience, not always through knowledge.
Yeah.
I like actually have to experience the negative consequence of my life to learn it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's good that you got that outcome, even from one ceremony. That's fascinating.
Yeah, and I'm still want to do a second one.
Yeah.
I still do a second one, but I usually like it to be processed because I
Yeah,
think
it does take time to
it's
process.
a journey.
It
you
is a
know?
huge journey.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you almost have to, what they say is you have to integrate, right? So you clearly integrated by becoming more grateful for what you have. And even though, yes, you were driven to be successful and now you're making money hand over fist with day trading, stocks, crypto. I mean, what did you say? You made up to like $600,000 in crypto or something?
Yeah, it's like 600,000.
That's so much. You were so successful over like the course of another 2 years, which is that's nothing compared to how much money you're making. So you integrated your ceremony and like, okay, I'm going to learn how to be grateful for what I have. And if something doesn't work out, like it was a lesson, I'm learning. And that whole shift in your perspective helps you enjoy yourself more, right? It helps you love yourself more. And also not to be like so much like, okay, I only feel good if I'm successful. I only feel good if I'm making more money today. And one thing that I notice with myself and other people that make money is that you can easily become addicted to the more mindset instead of enjoying whatever it is you have right now, right? And you and I have discussed this before too about the whole financial freedom thing. It's not just that how much money you have. It is good to feel like you have a future, right? And you have stability and you have some assurance of your income, but it's good to feel like right now I'm financially free. Today, if I need to go on a vacation with my husband, I can. Next week, if I want to do this, I can do that. Like that ability and having gratitude for it, not just the drive to hurry up and make more money,
Yes.
which is easy. It can become very addictive, right?
It can be very addiction. It's like a huge addiction. It's like, especially when you keep wanting to achieve every day. And with the strong mindset, well, like, I want to be a better version of myself. But a lot of time we might be forgot that for you to become a better person of yourself, you need to love who you are today too.
Yeah.
And a lot of us forget that because we
Yes.
want to be a better person, a version of yourself.
Yes.
But then you forgot that you're already a good version of yourself right now.
You're right now
You
good.
know,
You're right now good. And you're only as good as you can be today, right?
Yes.
Because we're going to learn more lessons in the future. So we can't be our best version in the future. We can only be our best version today.
Exactly.
Which is it seems simple, but it's not. It's like our mind constantly trying to be better before we can be better.
Because like I feel like your brain trick you a lot.
It does.
Like for you to be achieve a certain thing, for you to drive, you had to play with your brain, and it's all mindset, and you had to flip your mindset back and forth just to get the balance in between.
Yeah. And so as a successful person, we talked about this too. And I know like around that time, and you've been focusing more on spiritual and meditation and centering yourself. So what would you say that also contributes? Because it's very interesting for all the viewers and listeners out there to see what it's like to drive yourself to be successful and make money and have the ability to make money. But how can you strike a balance with, is it through meditation that you could strike a balance? Is it through gratitude? How is it that you can both be successful in, income, but also somewhat centered and grounded?
Yes.
How do you achieve that?
So I feel like usually in the morning usually before I was only wake up, the first thing I do is checking my phones,
And
right?
stocks.
Everything, making money, how
Crypto,
to make money.
stocks.
But then until that point, it's become so unhealthy because when you wake up and you just stuck on exactly whatever you did yesterday. because you tie up to who you are yesterday.
Yeah.
So I had decided, like, I wake up, the first thing I do is not touching my phones anymore. I literally sleep with my phone outside my bedroom, and I do my morning routine, open the curtain, get some sunlight, and then I go to my backyard and then sort of meditate. Like, I spend about 10 minutes just to focus on my breath, just to hear the bird, just to hear the wind, like just to feel the air,
ground yourself,
to ground myself, just to feel I'm leaving,
and like to live in this moment, to get grounded, to listen to nature and just be present without all the noise of
just hurt your breath and your heartbeat. Like, it's crazy that when's the last time you heard your breath? You know what I mean? Like, or your heartbeat, like you feel that, right?
Yeah, no.
We barely does that because it's like very simple thing that we wake up every day and we
hurry up
totally
and to do
forget
something
about it.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I pause that, and I feel that it's changed so much when it's part of my morning routine. You just spend 10 minutes or 5 minutes just to sit and relax and feels who you are,
and then you can feel grounded, and then like once you're ready you can go in and do the work
and I feel like I'm a lot more productive after I had that morning routine, because I feel like I'm able to free your mind and I can able to learn more because I don't tie up with whatever I know yet today. I repair to learn more, and it's become so more casual. Like, it's not like, oh, I have to become something or some, like, or achieve something. I just casually like, oh, like, because my mind is clear now. So
when it feels clear, do you feel like that attracts abundance? Like, are you almost having like some type of meditation where you're feeling like, I deserve something coming to me. I don't have this lack, because this is something I've experienced in business and in life, is that I often go to scarcity mindset, not on purpose. Like, it's not like I'm like, oh, you don't deserve anything, but like I go to like, oh, I don't have that, right? It's the fear of missing out. Oh wait, I should be more successful with this business. Oh, I should be making a little bit more money. I can see myself go there to the scarcity mindset. So do you feel like you have like intentional meditations that can open yourself up to calmness, abundance, that kind of thing?
I feel a lot of time when I'm doing meditation, I able to process my mind to receive information, like to visualize for a better outcome, because when you meditation, you only try to visualize, and it's crazy that it's very hard. Like, you have to visualize a good outcome during your meditation, like
almost manifest it in your head.
Exactly. Okay. Like, how my day going to happen, what I'm gonna do that day. Like, I had to visualize that, and then like, oh, how's the good day that it having outcomes. And I'm a huge believer in law extraction. So you have to become, like, you have to believe it is, you could
believe it's coming to you, that you deserve it, that it'll come when it's ready.
Yeah.
Not like a rushed thing or forced thing, but just you almost like believe it's coming when it's coming.
Yes. Okay. And it's like an energy, like everything works like energy. So that's why I'm a huge believer. And
you taught me this, if you're like reaching for it and you're having this lack mindset, you're creating resistance, you're creating tension in the, I don't know if it's in the universe or in your mind or in the energy, but you're creating this, like, if you need it, want it, not having it, you can instantly feel the tension. But if you're like, oh, I'm chilling, I'm flowing, it'll flow to me when it's ready. If it's not going to flow, there was a lesson. If it's not going to flow, I needed to be more patient. It's like this weird way that you can kind of like reverse psychology.
Right. And it's crazy because I read the book. I think I show you that book.
Which one did you show me?
It's called Supernatural.
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 By Dr. Joe Dispenza?
Exactly.
Yes, you did show me that.
So I read this book, and it's so crazy. He explained to me how the brain work and how the universe work and everything. And
the law of attraction.
Manifestation. Love it.
Really cool.
So I read that book. I really into it, and I started practice exactly how that book.
You started practicing those type of I actually need to read that again. I did read it once, and it is fascinating. If you guys haven't read it, Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza. He would be amazing to have on the show, wouldn't he? Oh my gosh, I hope one day.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really cool. You know what else is interesting? We've shared a lot of cool topics, and I hope everyone is enjoying this, because you are an abundance of like just passion. You're a ball of energy. You're an excited and contagious. You have a contagious energy about you, and I really love that. This is a side note. I don't really know how to get into it, but you just shared it with me that also in 2020, on top of everything that's happening, you did go in a little bit of depression because you just invest in your business, and now it's at a standstill, and you're trying to invest the last little bit of money that you have and hope that it goes into day trade and stocks. So you have a lot of anxiety that could potentially be going on, and you found out your father got robbed at gunpoint at the same time.
Yeah, so my dad was working for a little game room in Florida in a very small town, and it's
kind of like a slot machine,
but
game
it's like
room
game
kind of
room.
Okay.
But it's operating in like a little warehouse in the small town of Florida. Like,
yeah,
is It's not actual
It's
business.
small, maybe like the size of this room or a gas station or something like that.
And it's just crime. Like that's how I have a lot of crimes and drugs.
A lot of crimes.
So it's not a very safe how to operating the business, but it's the majority of the cash.
It's high cash flow.
High cash flow. So it's
Okay.
a high cash business.
Okay.
So he got robbed that night, and I think he got shot.
He got shot?
He got shot
Where did he get shot?
in the head.
In the head?
In the head.
Did he survive?
Luckily he survived.
Oh my gosh.
So he was hospitalized for about 3 months, and
That's a miracle, honestly.
it is. It's a
Because
miracle.
didn't you say it was like right in
Right between your eyebrows.
Oh my
So
god.
it was
That's
very
insane.
stressful. We were so repair to say goodbye. Like we,
my
'cause
God.
it's crazy how
It
this
is so
happened.
crazy.
But the crazy part when we're talking to the doctor, he said that the bullet is so small,
The bullet is so small.
and the brain have a different area. The brain was like function. Some of them for physical, some of them for memory, some of them for personality.
Yeah.
Well, that bullet will went to right to the personality.
The bullet went to his personality.
So he said he gonna experience some personality change. You're gonna see him a different person.
Okay.
But
Did you witness that?
I witnessed that. It's crazy.
What happened?
So he wasn't a bad person, right? He's alcoholics. He gamblers. He not really good with money. He very disrespect money. He just very cold person.
Okay.
And I don't have a lot of memory with him because I don't grow up with him.
Yeah.
But he changed. Like he's the messiest person you ever know.
He used to be messy?
He used to be messy. Like his room is always a mess. Like we can't even handle it. But
We can't handle like quarters in there.
but then after the accident, he the cleanest person you ever be.
It turned
like,
on an OCD switch.
It's exactly that's
What?
crazy.
That's insane.
It just flipped that switch and he became
That's a good outcome.
Exactly. So I was like, it is meant to be happen, but he don't have any problem with physical.
Because the bullet stayed inside, right?
The bullet stay inside. They left the
my
bullet in
God.
there. They said like it's too much risk to take out the bullet.
Yeah.
But it's safe to have the bullets in there. But the
my
bullets
God.
is so small that it causing a small damage to the brain
Yeah.
and maybe some of his skull.
And he kept all of his other function?
He's no problem. He's still driving now.
Oh, wow.
Like he go to work, he driving, he go back to his personal life, no problem.
Isn't it so weird that something so tragic can sometimes turn into a blessing? I got shot in the head and now I'm clean and I organize everything.
Yeah, and he was a little nicer to my mom. I feel like
Oh.
he was very cold to us, but I think he a lot more, not the best version of himself.
Do you think he also realized his life flashed before his eyes?
I think so.
And
I
maybe
think-
had some life altering decision because
I
that could be a
think-
part of it too.
Yeah, I haven't really talked to him about it because we don't really talk. But the way that he talking to my mom or the way that he expressed
treats her
himself to his mom, my mom feel like he for a moment he know that he dead, and now he feel like he appreciate his life in a
Wow,
different level.
good for him.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane, dude. Oh my God.
That's like
2020 is a bitch to all of us. Oh my God. We all have 2020 stories. I mean, I'm glad he's okay. I'm glad he's like fully functional and cleaning his room.
Yeah, it's like
Like,
backs to backs to back of everything happens to me, but
No, but you rise above everything. You've learned to like elevate, and you've been telling me before also about your businesses. Like, so you got into the place you are now, and you figured out a way to like send money back to people in Vietnam, and like you're always like trying to elevate your family and like the whole breaking generational curses. It would be really cool to get into that one day because you and I connect on like a spiritual level. We really believe that there's a whole spiritual like realm that we're part of, and then we can actually come through in our bodies in this life and help elevate our families in ways, right?
Yes.
Different ways, but
Yeah.
yeah, I feel that way really strongly too, and you're clearly a good example. So, well, do you have anything else you want to talk about? I mean, this is fascinating. You really should start your own. I know you were talking about it. Start your own like courses to talk about, because the thing is, you also helped once you sold your salon. You also helped the person you sold it to run her business successfully.
Yeah.
So you have the great business sense. And what's interesting to me is that you don't necessarily have to have a college degree in economics, business, finance to know how. In fact, you just have to have the know-how.
Yeah.
And like you did, self-taught. Look for the right mentors, maybe take some courses, look for free education on the internet, and also see how businesses operate. And basically in your mind, you're trial and erroring, and you're also running the math because you're good with numbers. So you'd be a really good person to help, elevate people into a business mindset and help strategize, help them learn strategies, or you'd be great at teaching. You've talked my ear off about stocks, day trading, Bitcoin, how to do sales, short sales, all that stuff. So you're very, very educated, but you educated yourself.
Yes.
And people would love to learn that anybody can learn it. Like,
Yeah,
I think
because
people get overwhelmed if they don't have a degree.
because I feel like a lot of us was like over exaggerated when it's come to stock market or it's cryptocurrency or even business in general, because a lot of them is exaggerated for because people have fears of success, but at the same time people have fears of failed.
Yeah, they
like
do.
when you get into those type of business or side hustles or even business in general, like you have to be addition to failing, because every time, because it's funny that I listened to someone and he said that when you go to school, you learn a lesson, you figure out a lesson, then you're taking a test and you tell you pass or failed. But when you're in life or in business or in any kind of thing, you fail first, then you learn the lesson. Like you take a test first. You only come and take a test first, and then you fail or pass. Either you fail or pass, you learn that lesson.
Right.
And then you carry that lesson to taking a different test.
Yes.
And that's how you evaluate yourselves in real life.
So failure is not a roadblock.
It's not a roadblock. It's not scary.
It's not scary.
It's a lesson. Like
failure's okay. You're not afraid of failure.
Yes.
So you like that you learned that. Do you think that you learned that from the Vietnamese culture?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so, because I feel like every time you fail, you just need to get up.
You need to try better.
Try it again. Pivot and just do it again, because at the end of the day, you only have one life. You can't just have whatever you fears of stopping you, you know? So that's why I don't scare of failing. I don't scare of failure. Like actually, I don't mind being fails on something. Or even when I'm trading, I don't mind losing money. Like that's why people was like, oh, you make money from trading, you make money from the stock market. Well, the other day I lost money too. Right. But I don't make it my bad day. Like I make it like what I'm learning today. And then immediately after I lost that money on that trade, I take a note. Like, why did I
lose? So you accept, you almost accept failure before it happens.
Yes.
It's going to happen. I'm going to learn this lesson. I'm going to write down what I need to know, and I'm going to grow from it.
Yes.
So that's a great mindset to have. I love that you exude so much passion and drive and less fear, but that you figured out a way to, even though you're super duper driven, there's some people who are so driven they can't even relax. They can't have time with their families. They might not even be able to stay in a relationship because they haven't dealt with their inner work and their inner child and their inner traumas. And so they're so addicted to succeeding, and they are successful in the ways of the world or money, but they're not happy because they're addicted to just the money and the attention or the fame or just the numbers, making more money hand over fist. And for you, I noticed that you're driven, but you also figured out a way to stay balanced and centered, like grounded. I'm still very happy with everything I have today. I'm happy with who I am. I decided to do the self-love work because I think some people that are driven and successful hide behind a mask of self-loathing or something that they don't like about themselves. And this is the external validation that I am good enough, right? Because I made enough money, or I brought myself out of poverty, I'm now wealthy, whatever. And I really love that you had that balance and that you did that for yourself, so that you don't, because to be addicted to anything, I think is a trap and it's a bondage, because at some point you're going to feel like you don't have enough, right? Yes. And you have to get the next fix, the next house, the next money. You never want to feel trapped in anything. So you've done a good strategy, of literally you have financial freedom. You can invest more if you want. You're still keeping, track. You're helping your family. Potentially, a bunch of them moved over here to America now, right?
My mom and my brother does. My older brother were planning to move here in the future, but I don't know how this is going to work out. But I also have this up in my sense was like, if it doesn't work out for you, great. If it doesn't work out, it's okay to be in Vietnam.
Yes.
And then I just gave them an up in mind. It was like achieving American dreams. You don't have to be in America. Oh. Like American dream had taught me something that you just need to be appreciated for who you are and always willing to be a better version of yourself. That's American dream, and you can achieve it anywhere.
Wow, I'm so proud of you, Daisy. That's amazing. Okay, well, I think we covered a lot of topics today. Thank you so much. You can follow Daisy, if you can pop it up right there, Daisy Tong. She has an Instagram. She'll also be posting some more mindset things, abundance. She'll teach a lot more about like these topics like stocks and cryptos and how to like have business sense. And she's amazing. She also has a TikTok. Do you want to tell me your TikTok?
Yeah, it's at Daisy Tong.
At Daisy Tong 1. She'll be posting some TikToks too. So thank you, Daisy, so much for coming on the show. You're so inspiring. I love you so much. And thank you for sharing your journey with all of us. Hopefully we can inspire some people if they want to get out of, if they work a 9 to 5 or if they work any type of job where they're not feeling fulfilled, maybe whether it's money, their financial freedom, their lifestyle, that they can just know all you have to do is don't be afraid of failure. You could start small and keep pivoting, and you can teach yourself anything on the internet, right?
Yes.
And you can learn just if you call around, ask what your local business owners are doing and find out their business plan.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
it's that easy.
It's easy. It's easy, but it's also very fun. It's very fun. Like you feel like just when you're learning something and you just immediately you have that information, it's become very interesting to go.
So you think it's all about gathering as much information as possible.
Yeah, and then to believe in yourself. I think it's had to
Believe in
start
yourself.
with your believer. Like you have to
Believe in
believe that
yourself.
you can achieve that first, then start.
Okay. I love that. Thank you, Daisy.
Of course.